Manuel Ugarte has told those close to him that he would love to play for Manchester United. These are reports just coming through from his native Uruguay. Welcome to the United Sport. My name is Webb. What a baller. Manuel Ugarte is on top of all talk. Everywhere you go, it is Manuel Ugarte who is destined to join the biggest football club in the world, as he has made it clear he would love to join Manchester United. Now we know Ugarte has not been a favored player at PSG since the arrival of Luis Enrique, who probably, given his Spanish roots, of course, would prefer a different mold of a holding midfielder, a Sergio Busquets style, probably not the physical, ruthless monster in Don Ugarte or Don Manuel, like I called him there. Now, United feel he's the perfect player to come in that midfield and shield the backline. His style, I've spoken about it several times, his style and approach to the game for me is quite a good balance. He gives you something going forward, but he's so solid. He's tackling, winning the ball back, his short passes, his dribbling, his duels. He's a character even by looks alone. He has got that fierce look about him that I think is needed at Manchester United. You need some fierce figures, human beings, or who will scare opponents, or even just by looking. But anyhow, so Ugarte of 23. United is said to be in contact with PSG. In fact, there are reports that were saying that Manchester United was about to table a 35 million euro bid for him. Now, that sounds like it's on the low side, considering how much we think PSG would value him, because the expectation is that PSG would want to bring back the nearly 51 million pounds they paid for him to Sporting Lisbon the last summer. So they seem to want to hold out for that, at least, even if they don't see a lot of value in him. They know that he's a player worth, that amount of money, even if he has not been really fancied by the coach and the style of football he wants to bring at the club. But United seems to be determined. I think the decision has been made. He should be the player they are going for as a holding midfield, as a replacement for Casemiro. And unless they are failed by the terms and the agreements with PSG, which is quite unlikely considering the fact that the two sides, even PSG has players they would want to pick from Manchester United. I think there should be a way this deal should be structured. Now, you should imagine now a midfield of having Ugarte, because if Ugarte arrived, and I was asking you recently here, I was talking about what United would want to do. They want to mold Kobbie Mainoo into a number 8, into a future number 10, where I personally would best love to see him after Bruno has left, obviously. Or is he going to be a number 6? Now, with Ugarte coming in, there is absolutely no way Kobbie Mainoo is going to be a number 6. Ugarte will be number 6. Then perhaps Kobbie and Bruno will then be either will play with 2 8s and a 6 behind them, if you know what I mean. So the 2 8s, one can always drift into a 10, or they can both keep switching the role of a 10 and playing into those number 10 areas. Or 4-2-3-1 with two blocking midfielders, one blocking on the left, one on the right. So Ugarte is blocking on one side, one blocking on the other side, but drifting ahead a little more, the number 8 and the number 10 ahead of them. So it depends on how they want to play it. But either way, Ugarte is coming in as the one shielding the back line, which I think is perfect for that. His physicality, his height, his heart, his daring style of play, his approach to the game, I feel for me is the right player to come in and play in that role, because he gives us a fine balance. Because again, we don't want to lose the identity of attack that we know Eric Ten Hag for, that he loves, because you need, even your number 6 has got to have those instincts to a bit want to take you forward a little bit, whereas his physical Kante, but Kante also gives you a balance in terms of going forward. He contributes to the attack. There are number 6, there are holding midfielders who do not contribute to the attack nearly at all. I think Ugarte is not that kind, and I think that is the kind of number 6 that Ineos have always wanted to bring in. So Ugarte is the man, and I think for me, think about his value, because the question now would be the value. How much are we paying for him? Because that's where we get issues. Most of these players will be linked with. That's why we get issues. How much the other team is asking for. But I look at Ugarte and I'm thinking, we're looking for a replacement for Casemiro. If you ask me, of all signings Man United has got to make in this summer, this is the most crucial one, because without a good number 6, you're gone. The biggest reason I think Man United looked terrible for the last season is because of the lack of a proper number 6. When we had a good number 6, we looked decent. I think for me, we saw what happened to Man United when Casemiro joined. Instantly, he made us better by far. For me, the biggest issue has been that, and that's why we need to spend right. That's why we need to sign the right player. If we get the number 6 right, trust you me, it doesn't matter how good the other players we sign are, they will all be made to look good. The team will be firm because the 6 gives you stability in the middle. And football battles are won in the middle, they say. So I think for me, the number 6 is the critical role. That's why, for me, even if we spend the biggest chunk of the transfer money on a number 6, I wouldn't mind. And I know we've got so many departments to sort. We need to sign a left back, a center back, perhaps two of them, a striker, perhaps two of them as well, because it seems Ineos would want to also go for a more experienced to come and partner Zakzi, who is probably going to come, and Rasmus Højlund. There is talk of a winger. My thinking is, whereas we need, yes, to sign so many players, at least 4 probably or 3, at least for this summer, the number 6 should be the one we spend right on. Mostly, we can get it wrong anywhere else, but we cannot get it wrong with the number 6. When you have a solid number 6, we are going to have stability because we used to shake so much. Without the ball, we used to leave acres of space, but a good number 6 will organize his midfield and keep the shape, help you keep the shape when you don't have the ball. Whenever you don't have the ball, that was the biggest problem for Man United. So Ugarte, for me, because he's a good player and we feel he's young, he's 23, so meaning he's not even at his prime. His best is ahead of him. I feel he can play well with Kobbie and Bruno. He can release Bruno because, again, we want a player who is going to release our number 10 to focus on the number 10 roles. Bruno has been playing as a 10 who drops back a lot and tries to contribute in every other space because perhaps most of his teammates were not up there. And whereas he has still been so creative in playing that way. Imagine how much more creative he would be if he's focusing on the role of a 10. So given how a good number 6 will open up, Kobbie as well will again be more free flowing because he has got an attacking instinct to his game. Now, given what a good number 6 would do to the rest of the players, the rest of the team, bringing the best, opening them up to give the best they can. My thinking is, if he's worth 50 million, if that's what they want, even if it's 55, even if it's 60 million, and that's what PSG want for us to get him, we pay it. Let's pay it because the Yao Neves, who perhaps would be better options than him, are 105 million pounds. Arsenal paid 110 million pounds for Declan Rice. Moises Caicedo at Chelsea, they paid more than 100 million pounds. These number 6s are so expensive. So if you can get a good one at the right age, the right experience, was winning balls against Argentina for Uruguay, if you're getting him at 60, nearly half the market value of the players at that level, for me, it's good business. It's extremely good business. And the only reason we could get him at that fee is because PSG do not see a lot of value in him because of their style. Their playing style does not fancy him. So for me, even 60 million would be a bargain for Ugarte. 60 million pounds would be a bargain for Ugarte. So if PSG want to just recoup back their 51 million quid for a good number 6 like that, pay it. That's my honest opinion. So for me, I don't see why Man United should not be bringing Manuel Ugarte. I think that should be, I think, a done one. Imagine if Everton is valuing Jared Branthwaite at 65 million pounds or 70 million, really. Why wouldn't Ugarte be valued at 51 million pounds? Why would we complain that that's too much money? I mean, how are you going to get a good number 6 for less than that? So for me, that's it. There should be no back and forth and wasting time and being undecided. Do we bring him? Do we not? Should we go for him? What do we do? Going into bargaining and bargaining before another club comes and snatches him away, or before PSG wake up and realize the quality of player they are losing and they say, you know what, we're not selling, or they make it difficult for you. No, I think for me, in fact, if we have the cash, we pay it. We don't even need to go back and forth into a swap deal and stuff. We pay it and also sell other players on their own. But if we have to go in a swap deal, do it as well. The only thing for me with these swap deals is at times, for example, I'll give you an example of the swap deal that Aston Villa and Juventus had for Douglas Luiz. involving two players, it sort of handicaps you in a way. It involves two players for one player, and in a way, yes. Whereas the one good player is perhaps better than three average players in terms of numbers. Somehow you've got to add up. Of course, there are solutions to it, but I am for more. I'm more for players going for their right value. This business of using players top one, somehow you're ripped off. You're ripped off in a way, indirectly. But with United anyway, our players are not as attractive in terms of attracting cash on their own. So if you've got to use them now as additions in swap deals to get players you want, perhaps it's inevitable. That's what it's supposed to be. That's how we're supposed to handle it. But the reality is, anyway, whichever way we go to get Manuel Ugarte, let's go for it. For Joao Neves, well, I'm not sure if it's still completely off, but I mean, the guy is too expensive. Benfica are not willing to let go of him unless teams like PSG or Real Madrid, who would be willing to pay 100 and something million. I don't see Man United meeting that money, not in this summer. So for me, Ugarte is the chosen one. Don Manuel. Don Manuel. That should be his new name when he joins Man United. Don Manuel. Drop down in the comment section and let me know. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good do you rate Don Manuel? How do you rate Ugarte on a scale of 1 to 10? He's 23. He's Uruguayan. He's a holding midfielder. I think can also play as a centre back if he's called upon to. I believe he can. He's a different player. He's a different make of a player. Drop down in the comment section. Give me your honest opinion about Don Manuel, who most likely will be joining Manchester United this summer. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you later, fam.